don't know how to get back here. Okay, we are live streaming. Hello, everybody. It is Wednesday, July 26th
26.
26.
today. And this is a special event because we are live from Iowa, actually a little small, beautiful town called Pella. As a reminder, I am Dr. Sharon, and this is Walt.
Hello.
We come to you every week going over some self-care and habits of health, and I'll let Walt take it away to do a little review of the last week together and then introduce our first guest.
So good evening, everybody. It's great to be here again on a Wednesday evening, live from Iowa. I think it's well in the 90s. Quite the travel out here to celebrate health and health coaching. So I just want to introduce our special guests, let them tell you a bit about their stories in healthcare. With Sharon, we have David Bush, who's hosting us this weekend. And David, thanks for joining in on our call. And you may remember, this is my lovely wife, Paige, who we call ourselves the coaching couple. And she's going to share her story, and we're going to talk a little bit about the components of our self-care plan, the habits of health that we've been talking about now the last few weeks. So, David, would you like to share a little bit about your story with us and all the viewers?
Yeah, you bet. Thanks for having me. Yeah, so it was December 28, 2008. I was at a point where I was the unhealthiest I'd ever been. I'd always been a big kid. I played football, got away with being a big kid for a lot of years, and just kind of evolved into being kind of the human trash can. Had 3 young kids, and whatever they didn't eat, I'd throw it away in my mouth, and just never wasted food unless it was being wasted on my hips or my gut or my butt, And I'd tried doing diets and detoxes and fitness programs. I mean, being a professional athlete, I knew how to exercise, but I didn't really know how to live a healthy lifestyle and enjoy it. And so a good friend of mine lost 50 pounds, and he inspired me to give it a shot. And he offered to coach me. His wife had lost 35 pounds. He had lost 50 pounds. And I knew I needed something more than just a weight loss program. And when he introduced me to this comprehensive lifestyle program and said that I could actually learn to live a healthy lifestyle and that he would actually coach me through the process, I know I needed somebody else to kind of be there for me, because as much as I wanted it for myself, I didn't want it enough to break through that barrier and that resistance of where I was at and the comfort that kind of surrounded me in terms of comfort foods and just being in a position. I kind of, developed a personality around being the jovial, overweight guy or obese guy. And I had to kind of change all that. And so I made the decision December 28th, decided 30 days, I was just going to go all in. And that was 15 years ago, and ended up losing 100 pounds in about 7 months. And that's not necessarily typical for everybody, but that was my story. And that was something, when I started seeing what was possible for myself, I started setting new goals, started, challenging myself with exercise and resistance training, ran a half marathon. You'll see that there's my first, I signed up for a turkey trot. And at the time I was going to sign up for the turkey trot, they gave me an option for a half marathon. So with 3 days notice, I ran a half marathon, and then I ended up doing another half marathon right there. And, just again, being a bigger guy, never ran for fun or entertainment. Ran because I was chasing somebody or somebody was chasing me. And that was, 15 years. The journey has just continued on, continuing my health journey now today, leveling up, turned 50 this year, and decided that I wanted to take my health to a new level, and I wanted to age at a very high level with all the yeses I could say in terms of exercise, hiking, biking, water skiing, wakeboarding, all those things. And so I know that it's been a journey for me, and it's been an opportunity for me to pay it forward, and brought me into connection with Dr. Sharon, and now you, Walt, now you, Paige.
Wow, that's an awesome story. And how did it evolve to where you started to help coach people as well?
Well, it just became natural where people started asking me what I was doing, because I was working on a vanishing act. People were seeing me disappear a little bit at a time. And some people were just so awe-inspired that I had gotten healthy so quickly in a period of 6 months. So people that saw me 6 months ago didn't recognize me. And that was one of the things that I wanted that for other people, because I knew that there was a lot of friends and family members that were overweight, obese. And then there was some people that weren't overweight or obese, but they weren't active. And they were what we call a skinny fat. You know, they weren't doing exercise. They weren't able to go out there and live their best life, or they were just fueling their body with unhealthy foods and were lacking energy. And so I had people that were all different types of walks and types, that some wanted to lose the last 10 pounds, somebody wanted to level up their nutrition, and they were just curious about what it is that I was doing. Some of them, I think that they were just curious because they wanted to know, you know, what caused such a massive transformation with me, but others were interested in getting healthier. So I referred them to my coach. And then my coach said, David, would you like to learn how to help other people as a way of continuing your journey and helping learn more about health and, you know, what it looks like to achieve optimal health? And so very reluctantly, I agreed, but I knew that I wouldn't go through the process at the same level unless I was encouraging somebody else, because I'm a people person and I will do more for another person than I will do for myself. Unfortunate as that may be, I just care more about people than I care about myself. And so when people would ask me questions, I wanted to know the answer. And so going through the coach training process really helped me to find those answers. And now, you know, 1,000 people later, I've personally coached 1,000 people to achieve their goals. And that includes physicians and many other healthcare professionals, nurses like Paige, and many other people from all walks of life. And I never thought that I'd be good at it. Never thought it was on my dream board that I wanted to be a health coach one day. But I always knew that I was going to be a people farmer, and I was going to grow healthy people, whether that be in management or business or in some other form of leadership. But that's where it all kind of became part of my future, was as I saw health coaching as actually a vehicle for transformation for myself, and then seeing health professionals and other family members. And just the term coaching couple is just kind of gives me the chills to think that not only have you gotten to a healthier spot as a couple, individually, you've got your own personal wins, but now you've got this cool thing that you're doing together to empower other people, and you're partnering up with healthcare professionals and other lay people to transform the next generation. So that's super cool. And it makes me feel very significant in my life to know that my story had a little part in your story.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, appreciate all that. You want to take a couple seconds and share, sure everybody's seeing the jersey in the back of the 65, a little bit of a history of how I got up there.
Yeah, well, I'll have Sharon go grab that jersey first, because that jersey probably deserves a little introduction first. So this
Okay.
is actually a gift. So there was this guy, maybe you can't see it's backwards, but it's spelled Warner. And he wore the number 13 for the St. Louis Rams in the 1999 Cinderella season. He was the quarterback of our team, the Iowa Barnstormers, and I was the guy that was hiking him the ball. So that picture right there shows me hiking the ball in an overhead shot in the Arena Bowl. I think it was Arena Bowl 10. We played in the first or the 10th Arena Bowl, lost. Kurt Warner lost it. But yeah, so there's more of a story that goes, you know, Kurt was a very talented athlete that was overlooked. I was a mildly successful athlete that was overlooked. And so my jersey was the opportunity to achieve a lifelong dream of playing professional football. And then, you know, obviously being able to have a close relationship. And I call it close when another man has his hands upon your buns. Hiking him a ball, that's a pretty close, intimate relationship. And there's one thing I'll tell you about Kurt Warner that you may not know, but he has some of the coldest hands of a man I've ever felt. But yeah, you know, football has done a lot. I have these laying around the house, but you know, it kind of leads to a different story that my son is a quarterback, and you know, it's weird how things work out. So I
was going to say, it's amazing.
Yeah, I play this thing called arena football, and I get a chance to build a close relationship with the future Hall of Famer in the NFL and Professional Football Hall of Fame. My son becomes a quarterback, which I never played quarterback, but my son decides to wear the jersey number 13 of his hero, Kurt Warner. And Kurt Warner texts my son before his first varsity football game and then invites him after he graduates and wants to go play college football, invites him to come to his home to train with him for 3 days.
Wow.
Not everybody gets a chance to do that, but to be able to see your son, carrying out his dream, that's the reason why the jersey's up there, is it because it led me to the first dream of achieving success in football. And then that led me to have a whole bunch of other dreams, like being a speaker and writing a book and a whole bunch of other things that, yeah. So you really opened up a can of worms asking me about that jersey.
Well, it's a great story, as everything you just said is absolutely amazing. And it kind of just speaks to what happens when you define your why and you put that into motion, right? When everyone can understand the why behind what they want to do, they see it, they dream it, they have that growth mindset, and they take the appropriate steps to start, which I imagine in some cases, for everyone, it's probably the hardest part, is just starting. And that's kind of what we've been talking about, Sharon. So, Paige, do you want to kind of reshare some of the things that you talked about a couple weeks ago and how we've gotten to where we're at?
Sure. My story started in October of 2021. I had reached the highest weight that I had seen since pregnancy. I was up to about 230 pounds. I was pretty unhealthy. I hurt everywhere: back pain, hip pain, knee pain, everything hurt. And I couldn't do anything more other than go up and down the steps, feed dogs when I needed to. Was volunteering at something at my son's school as a nurse. I'm a pediatric nurse, and I was helping out at the school for the day. And my picture was taken with the school mascot and posted on Facebook. When I saw that picture, the switch went off. I knew it was time that I needed to make a change. Our good friend Kathy had done this program and had lost 100 pounds and has kept it off for 3 years now. I reached out to her, and I had talked to her about it in the past, and was like, no, I'm not ready. I can do it on my own. I'll do one of my other things. And so she put me in touch with her coach, Brian, and we talked, and I had my goal. He set a higher goal for me, and I surpassed that goal by 23 pounds. So I've lost 83 pounds. I did it in about 8.5 months. And I've kept it off. I'm doing things that I never thought would ever be possible. I ran a 5K. We rode in a 15-mile bike race through the hills of Parksburg, which were pretty significant hills that I don't know how we did it, but we did it. I've started riding horses again, which is something I did as a child. Back when I first started program, I had toyed with the idea, and I have a friend who has a barn full of horses and told me I can come ride them at any time. But she was steering me towards, like, she had this big draft horse that she puts all the big people on. She's like, oh, you can come ride Stevie anytime you want. I'm like, I don't want to ride Stevie. I want to ride Clooney. Like, Clooney's like this really cool off a show horse. He's a retired show horse. I'm like, I want to ride Clooney. And she's just kind of looking at me. I showed up one day and she said, now you can ride Clooney. So he's my boy. Now my dream is that I'm going to hopefully be able to show him over fences this summer. So like, that's my new dream. So that's the good thing about it. Doesn't just end with the weight loss. Like, the weight loss leads to other things, and you have new dreams, and you have new whys, and you have new things that you want to go for. And every day I wake up and there's something new I want to do. And so I'm going to get it. The reason why we became coaches, I think, is more, again, as a nurse, I like to help people. I'm not comfortable telling my story, but I've gotten more comfortable telling my story. We've helped close to 70 people at this point, and it's a year as coaches. But it helps to hold us accountable too, because as I'm working through the program with clients and getting them to the different stages of the program, it makes me continue to stay on track myself. And so that the accountability piece is huge as a coach. I think that is a big thing that for us as coaches.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. we do it because we love to help people. I love to help people. I've been helping or trying to help people develop and reach their goals for years, and I think that it's just been the ability to stay accountable to everything. And you know, I guess I think, guys, at this point, it would be really great, Sharon, right? Let's tell everyone about the 4 basic components of this lifestyle program. So maybe people want to jump on board.
Yeah, I know last week, and it's just, what an honor to be sitting right next to my coach, my mentor, my friend, my partner in this whole world of wellness. It's a completely different environment than my traditional, the day job of medicine. And it was the idea of David having a coach within him, right? That he and Kurt Warner worked together, and then the ripple effect down to his son, Bo. It's a journey that never ends, and it just starts with that decision. And we talked last week that there are 6 habits that we live by, and we live those by these 4 components. And the first one, of course, is that coach. It's that person that is there for me or for anybody, regardless of where you are. I've cried on his shoulder. I've laughed. We've trusted each other to be able to, both of us, move forward in our health. And that is probably the one thing that sets us apart from anything else out there. We all need people in our lives to help us. And I couldn't think of a better way to spend tonight than sitting right next to David in his office that I get to be mentored through. And it's critical to success to have somebody who believes in you, even when you don't necessarily believe in yourself. So.
Yep. Well said. Well said. Paige?
And the second piece and component to this, and this house is full of it today, is our community. Some people who may be watching this know me and my history of, I don't get on planes. I've been on 3 planes since April to be a part of this community. I mean, the community of people, and it's not just our small knit group, it's a huge community. And our community is private Facebook groups where you can get in and you can talk, and we have challenges in there. Right now we're in the middle of a 30-day walking challenge, and we're all posting on there how many steps we've gotten, how many this we've done and where we've walked and the wildlife we've seen. And it's just nothing but everybody just supporting each other through everything. If you have questions about recipes, if you have questions about, there's always somebody that's there for you. And so the community is another piece to this that we don't see with other programs that are out there. And we've got how many people upstairs? 20 people upstairs that we're all on this different levels of this journey together. And that's what's really cool about it.
Absolutely. And I think that the one thing that kind of unites us, right, is what we have that's different than any other program out there to help you find a healthy lifestyle is the education. As a component of this education, you're going to get a couple of books written by a pretty sharp guy, by Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson. The Life Book, which is going to highlight elements that you will use to both change your mindset, create a new mindset, think through the relationships that you may have, and then we'll walk you through how you're going to go from losing weight to staying this, as David has now for 15 years, as Sharon has for 10 years. And this lifestyle just continues as you embody it. And the education that this program will provide you will allow you to always reference back, because it's the gift that never stops giving, which is the ability to learn and adapt. And that's kind of what this education will offer you.
So I guess I'll wrap it up with the 4th one. And I like to use this analogy of this pen where, if you have a coach and you have the community and you have the educational program, you have a pretty good grip on the best version of you, if that's what the pen represents. But when you have a simple meal plan and you have a done for you system where you don't have to count points, calories, or carbs, you don't have to plan, purchase, prepare, or portion size healthy food, and exercise to get predictable results. When all that stuff is done for you, it provides a pathway to accelerated progress and accelerated results. And that's what I needed. I needed a structure that was going to be predictable, that was simple, that wasn't a big math complication where I didn't have to do a lot of journaling or didn't have to use some complicated app that I had to figure out macros and all that stuff. I just needed a structured plan to live a healthier lifestyle. And so this program provides different meal plans and done for you products and healthy fuelings that you can use as a source of quality nutrition without having to do all the shopping and all the preparing and planning and all that stuff. And you get very predictable results. So for those people that want to lose weight and are not doing a lot of exercise or activity or not doing any at all, there's a plan for you. And for those of you that are active, that are walking, that are doing light exercise, there's a plan for you to lose weight if you want. And then if you're already at a healthy weight, there's a healthy nutrition plan that just systemizes the idea of healthy fueling throughout the day. And with the coach, with the community, and with the lifestyle program, you have a full grip. And then if you want to, there's this extra thing here where you can choose to encourage people to close your grip. And if you encourage people as a coach, what happens is that other people come around you and they hold your grip tight so that you can't pull that best version of yourself away from that grip. And that's probably the best visual that I could provide people to what it is that we do. And obviously, we'd love to encourage you and to help you to get started or to reboot. I know summertime it's challenging and you kind of fall off your wagon and you oftentimes, burn it and, use the insurance money to go buy cupcakes. And sometimes things get really bad and you need that little extra boost to get back started. And so I would just put the invitation out there and say, reach out to this crew of healthy heroes and health champions and health professionals and ask them, what it is that they're doing and how you could participate in it. Because we would love to have you as a part of our community, even if that's all you're looking for. We don't force all of these components onto you. If all you're looking for is a healthy group of people to partner with and you want some educational resources, you may not want a done for you meal plan and you may not want a coach, but we're here to meet you where you're at and support you on achieving your goals. And lots of cool things happening in this next couple 30 days. So reach out to us.
I could not have asked for a better session that I get to sit here and actually listen more than sharing. I often needed to just sit back and watch, and then I needed to step out of my comfort zone and be bold and talk. And now I can sit back and watch new leaders of the future eventually have their new coaches sitting here. And it's such a pleasure. Walt, thank you so much, Paige and David.
Thank you.
And we'll see you all again next week. Take care.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye-bye.